Welcome back to Bountiful Gardens. My name's Ike, and today I'm in our beautiful Ewing, New Jersey greenhouse. We're always talking to you about landscaping, but did you know you can apply those same principles of layering colors and textures onto a smaller scale? This is tablescaping, and it's the best way to decorate your Thanksgiving table this year. Tablescaping allows you to combine your love of plants with the bounty of fall to create something truly special both you and your guests will adore. When planning out your tablescape, it's important to consider what kind of focal points you want to use or what style you're going for. Maybe something really bountiful or maybe a little more minimal. I have a couple examples that we can work through together. For my first tablescape, I really want to recreate the look and feel of a classic Thanksgiving spread. All those really warm tones and deep greens that make you think about fall. I'm going to start out with a base layer that kind of looks like a forest floor, and a lot of the materials you need you can probably find in your own backyard. Lucky for us, we have a native meadow behind our Ewing location, so I was able to pick up all sorts of fantastic things that'll make it look like a forest floor on our Thanksgiving table. I'm also going to pick up some mini pumpkins and gourds to really bring the bounty. If you're really excited for the holidays and you already have your tree, you can use a couple trimmings from the bottom of it in your tablescape. If you don't have a tree yet, well, you know where to get one. Now we've got everything we need to start setting the table. I've got some pine cones, some really nice flat arborvitae branches, some oak branches, some pear branches, a little bit of mountain mint, a couple fronds of a sensitive fern, and a little bit of blue verbane. Let's get started. I'm going to start out by creating the base layer of the forest floor using some of these foraged green giant and fir branches. They're nice and flat, so you can just lay them down across the center. Any of the stems that are sticking up too much, I'm just going to trim right off. Now that we essentially have a natural green table runner, I'm going to lay down some of the planters we'll be using to really evoke that fall feeling. I'm going with wicker baskets and these really nice ceramic pots that have the look of a wicker basket. Now that our planters are in place to give us a little more structure, we can go in with another layer of the forest floor using these oak and pear branches. And again, if you feel like any of the stems are too long, you can trim as you go along. Now that we've got another layer into the base, it's time to add in our pumpkins and gourds. I'm also going to take this time to add in some of those pine cones we found. Now we can add in our cabbages and spruce and really see how it's coming together. To hide the edges of the pots in these wicker baskets, I'm going to use a little bit of rapha. You can also go outside and forage some dried grass if you want, but I really like how flexible and versatile rapha is. And just like that, easy peasy, it cleans it right up. It wouldn't be a bountiful arrangement without flowers, so I'm going to add in these stunning golden poinsettias to really balance out the greens of the spruces. Now it's my favorite part of the process, adding in the finishing touches. We're going to use these incredible dried perennials from our native meadow out back. And there you have it, a table overflowing with the classic colors and textures of fall. But maybe you don't want to go the traditional route with your tablescape. If you want something a little more contemporary, this next one's for you. Maybe you want a look that shows that you're the designated plant expert at the table. For the centerpieces of this tablescape, I'm going to be creating 3 dish gardens, each with a fern, a couple terrarium plants, and some dried preserved moss. So I'm going to start with this fern here, but since the rest of these pots are really small and I want them to be up and situated level with the fern, I'm going to add in some gravel around the base of it to anchor it in place and hold those other pots up. Now we can add in our terrarium plants and the finishing touch of the dried preserved moss. And here's the finished piece. It's a living arrangement that'll be eye-catching to every plant lover at the table. First up, I'm going to take these beautiful centerpieces I just made and place them right in the center of the table. Next up, I'm going to take some fresh cuttings of evergreen branches and just layer them around these pots to give a nice base. Make sure that you're being careful to hide the ends of the stems underneath other branches. Closer to the holidays, we get tons of these little calendiva in, and they're the perfect accent to this lush green tablescape. I'm going to put it in this decorative terracotta pot, and if you want, you can even write your guests' names on the edge there and use them as place settings. Now, if you like the monochromatic look, you can leave it just like this, but it's Thanksgiving, and I really want a burst of color, so I'm going to add in some decorative pumpkins. What's great about this tablescape is all of these plants are still individually potted, so once the plates are cleared, your guests can take home a little keepsake. Want to enhance the aromas of the feast? Why not make a tablescape utilizing fresh herbs as your focal point? By combining the warm hues of terracotta with the grace and airiness of kitchen herbs like rosemary, sage, and thyme, you'll have a tablescape that smells just as good as it looks. This tablescape is going to be much more structured and clean, so I'm going to map out the path of the arrangement with these distressed terracotta pots as the foundation pieces. I'm going to put one right in the center of the table, and then the other two on either end, forming a clean line right down the middle. Next, I'm going to take these beautiful kitchen herbs that are potted in terracotta and use that center line as a guide. I'm going to put one on either end of that center, tallest in the middle, and shortest on either end. And see, you're almost making like a wave with this. What's great about these 3 center terracotta pots is that it gives you the option of either filling them with some pillar candles, or if a guest brings you a bouquet of flowers, you can split it up and add it in here. Or in my case, I'm going to use one of these gorgeous poinsettias for a really beautiful floral pop. Now all that's left is to add a couple finishing touches with these white pumpkins that'll match the white poinsettias. To really sell the look, you can add a bundle of fresh herbs to each table setting, and before the meal's served, you can run over, brush against each plant, and really release that aroma and enhance the meal. Thanksgiving is all about bounty, which is probably why we like it so much. If you want to show off your landscaping skills in miniature form, why not make a tablescape this year? As always, if you like this video, be sure to like it down below and leave a comment if you had any questions about this video or suggestions for videos in the future. And of course, subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date on all things new at Bountiful Gardens. Thanks, and happy Thanksgiving.